Brainstorming game, everyone. Let's get right into it. I have the images right here on my iPad. First image, two different puzzle pieces, person on each side. Puzzle pieces look differently, yet they fit perfectly into each other. What I would say for this image is that there are certain people who are meant to be in our lives, right? They make us better. Even though they're different, they make us better as a whole, and they add purpose to our life. Therefore, hold on to those people and don't let them go. Second image, I see a little boy with different crafts, I guess, around him. He has a strainer on top of his head. He has glasses. Seems to be some type of science experiment, whatnot. Well, I would give meaning to this one by saying, think creatively. Think outside of the box. In which ways you successfully complete a task. Think creatively. Don't limit yourself to any expectations or to any impossibilities. Don't limit yourself, right? Third picture, this is a really great one that I can talk about. Seems to be a city behind a man who is at the start line. And when I see this one, I think of someone who's leaving their past life, their mistakes that they've made, struggles, leaving it all behind them and starting fresh, starting a new chapter. And I think that's what a lot of us do throughout our lives, right? We leave behind who we were to step into a new possibility of becoming who we want to be, right? That is a really great picture. I believe this is the fourth picture. This one is captivating the word possible from the word impossible. This is a pretty straightforward one. I can give meaning to this one by saying, don't focus so much on the impossible, but focus on the possible. But in this case, I want to give meaning to this one by saying, only focus on what you can control and what you can't control, because when you put your attention towards that, you'll eventually realize that everything you want to accomplish is possible. Therefore, don't focus so much and put all your attention towards what you can't control. Focus more towards what you can control, and you'll have more possibilities there. This next picture is a man wearing goggles, a helmet, all this gear, right? It seems he's fighting through some type of storm, carrying a bag, luggage. For this one, I would say through the storm, through the struggle, hold on to what keeps you going. Hold on to your why. Hold on to what is most important to you, because at the end of the day, throughout the storm, that is what's going to keep you going. The next picture, I see a man contemplating a game plan, X's and O's, arrows, all that good stuff. For this one, the audience needs to hear that sometimes things don't go your way. Sometimes you have a set plan in life. You expect it to go that way. You expect everything to follow through. Yet life happens and it doesn't. And you have to stand there and think, well, how am I gonna work around this? How am I gonna fix it? And in that moment, we need to realize that we need to have backup plans, because things aren't always going to go smoothly. Have backup plans for specific cases, have backup plans. This next picture, a man holding on to two propellers. He's in the sky. He seems to be flying. He's looking upwards. To the audience, I say, take flight. Take flight. Step out of your comfort zone and look up towards the sky and dream. Possibilities are endless, right? Never limit yourself. Keep going, keep flying towards your dreams, your goals, and you'll eventually get there. This next picture is a figure revealing no logo. You would think there would be a Superman logo underneath his shirt, but no. He's an ordinary man. Ordinary person, right? To this, I would say, it doesn't take a superhero to be great. You don't have to be a superhero to do great things. Sometimes an ordinary person, a regular person, can do amazing things. Not sometimes, all the time. Next picture is a group of people surrounding each other in a huddle. Hands all in, right? To the audience, teamwork makes the dream work. Every single person in a group, in a team, working towards a mission, has their own abilities, personalities, their own inputs that ultimately create the success of what is to be for the outcome. Therefore, everyone is critical, everyone is important to any type of work, group, assignment, goal, if you will. This next picture, a row of people who seem to be listening to a brief, a lecture, and there's a person raising their finger, raising their arm, raising their hand. Don't be afraid to ask questions, everyone. Because asking questions, don't be embarrassed. Asking questions is good. Asking questions means you're engaged in what the speaker is talking about, or the teacher, professor. Don't be afraid to ask questions. This picture is very intricate. It's a bill, which seems to be a reflection of a historical figure. This one is a bit tricky for me to unpack in the moment, but I would say, after brainstorming this picture for a few seconds, I would say that power, money, all go hand in hand. People with power and money, sometimes that's all they see in themselves. Sometimes that is all they see in themselves is money. Because that is his reflection ultimately. And my message for this is, don't be blinded by money. Don't be blinded by the power of money. Don't see that as your reflection, because it'll consume you. And being driven by money is not good, right? We need to be humble and caring for others. There are a lot more things more important than money, right? Even though money is extremely important in this world and what keeps us going, don't be blinded by it. Don't see it. Don't let it consume in your reflection. This next picture is an outline of a businessman reflecting the New York City, right? And to this, for the crowd, I would say, your job can take you anywhere. It depends what job, but most jobs can take you anywhere. Pick the right job. Pick a good job. And if you love to travel, you can do just that. By working hard at your job, being good and competent at your job will take you many different places. Even though it seems hard and tough during days at your job, but you want to travel and you have that in mind, keep going, because eventually you'll travel with your job. This next picture, some car figure passed by incredibly quickly throughout the city, downtown, whatever. And I would just say to the audience, life is going to happen quickly. Sorry. Life can go by very quickly. Also, things can happen very quickly in life. As quick as a snap, they can happen very quickly. Therefore, be ready, be prepared, because change can happen anytime, any place. Change can come and go. Be ready for the unexpected. Be ready for a fast-paced work environment. Be prepared for all of that. This next picture is a group of 4 people who look to be very happy, who get along well with each other. It looks like they're working on a group project. And for this one, I would say, I see game plan, I see cohesiveness, I see teamwork. As I said in the previous picture, a few pictures back, teamwork makes the dream work. But I do also have to add something else to brainstorm for this picture, just so it's not the same as the other picture of teamwork. Build healthy relationships, because healthy relationships in a work environment is extremely important, very key to getting the job done. Because if you are not looking like this in your work environment with your coworkers, and you guys are trying to get the job done, it's not going to get effectively done if people are miserable, if people aren't happy like this. Therefore, what I'm trying to say is build strong relationships. Be true with one another. Be true with who you work with, and be honest with each other. Overall, have good relationships with your coworkers. This next picture is a woman standing with a cape, tall and proud, in front of, I believe, New York City. Let me brainstorm a little bit on this one. She's looking up, standing proud, tall. She seems to be some type of superhero, but is wearing a typical businesswoman outfit. For this one, I would say leaders are superheroes. Be a good leader. Stand proud, stand tall, and lead. Because people rely on you. People are counting on you. Be that leader. Be that superhero of a leader. Be the one to take action, initiate, and eventually win the day, right? The next picture seems to be a man holding out his hand, requesting a handshake maybe? Ooh, but I notice in his other hand he is gripping tightly. Do you all notice that? He's gripping tightly on his other hand, but he's reaching out at the same time for some reason. And something that immediately pops into my mind, and a message that I would give to the audience if I was presenting this picture, is be careful who you trust. Be careful who you trust in a work environment, because sometimes people do not have good intentions. Right? Be careful who you trust, because sometimes people can look like this, who seem to be welcoming and charming, right? Yet behind closed doors, they have evil intent. Be careful who you trust. Brainstorming the next picture, there's a man touching on, I'm not sure what part of the world that is actually, but there's a layout of the entire map of the world with a man in a suit brainstorming that he is touching on a certain part of the map. I'm not too sure what area that is. It obviously looks like it's outside of America. For this one, audience, I would say to you all that kind of going hand in hand with the other picture, that your job can take you anywhere, right? It'll take you to unexpected places that you would have never imagined. Of course, it depends what job you are. For example, military, we can go anywhere. Travel nurses can go anywhere. I'm assuming businessmen can go anywhere as well to do business affairs, right? Explore the world. This next picture, I noticed that on this side, there are different colors of light bulbs, but in the middle, there is a regular white light bulb shining actually, and on this side, there are business strategies. Everyone, I would like to say for this one, don't be afraid to be different. Be different. Think differently than others. Don't fall into the same thinking that other people are thinking just because a whole group of don't hop into the bandwagon. Think differently, because different perspectives, different ways of thinking are very good. Business strategies, yes, think differently, because they're all different light bulbs of color. Also think creatively maybe, because, okay, for this one, I would say in the business world, I'm assuming, although I haven't met that stage in my life yet, I would say that it takes creativity and thinking differently in the business world for accomplishments and good things to happen. This is also a good one. Different speech bubbles, different hands holding up the speech bubbles. Everybody has their own input. People all don't think the same. There are different opinions, different ways of thinking. You can't control. Yes, you can convince somebody, but at the end of the day, a lot of people think differently, right? And for this one, audience, I would say that don't try so hard to change people's mind, change their way of thinking, because at the end of the day, everybody in this world thinks differently. And that's what makes us unique, right? That's what makes us our own individual. Okay. And last picture. Two businessmen, men, in front of all of the different flags of the world. I see a reflection of international agreements, allies, international allies. Brainstorming here that there is an agreement between two different nationalities, maybe, two different places in the world. Right. Brainstorming, maybe politics, are somewhat in this picture. And the meaning for this one is that although we have a number of adversaries, a number of enemies against us, we also have allies. We can't forget that. Everyone in the audience, please do not forget that we have allies who support us, who support our country, and will defend our country against adversaries. Don't be afraid. Also, connecting to the business aspect of this one, don't be hesitant to partner with or to work with somebody who's of a different nationality. Don't let that stop you from working closely with them. My apologies. And yes. Right, let me pick three different pictures, and I'm going to talk about them individually for 30 seconds, and we will see how that goes. I'm going to pick a picture in 20 seconds, because that is when I want to start. I think I want to go back to this picture. Okay. Okay. By the way, I'm going to start with this picture. Would it be wrong for you to leave behind your past? Leave behind your struggles, your despair, mistakes that you made in the past. Is it wrong? No. A lot of people will say that it's not wrong to leave behind your past, right? Because ultimately, everyone, we need to start our own journey. We can build ourselves to be better by starting a new chapter in life. Sometimes people will have their opinions. Oh, you're cutting those people off. You're leaving me behind. Why? Well, if it takes cutting out negativity in your life and leaving all that behind to be the best version of yourself, do it, everyone. Do it. Don't look back and just go on that start line and run your race. Run your new chapter. Start your new chapter in life, right? Be bold. Don't be afraid. Start that new chapter in life and execute. Run towards the best version of yourself. Thank you. That one, I don't believe that one was 30 seconds. I might have gone overboard. Let me pick a second picture. Okay. This is going to be my picture. I will be starting in 5 seconds. Good relationships matter in the office setting. Why do I say that? Why does it matter so much? Well, everyone, to work efficiently in the office setting, you have to have good relationships. You have to get along with your coworkers, even though there might be some sassiness, attitude. Leave all that behind. Put that in the back of your mind and just think about getting the task done. I believe that was over 30 seconds, but 30 seconds is quite short, as I'm noticing, to get to the main point of your speech. And last but not least, let me pick one last picture to end off this video. Alright, here is the last picture that I'm going to talk about. This is the ordinary man. Don't think it takes a superhero to do great things. You can be an ordinary person who does great things. Be that ordinary person who does great things. Don't try to be a superhero, because all superheroes can do great things, but any ordinary person can do great things, can accomplish, can save the world. In reflection, I would think deeply about these pictures, give myself more time to evaluate and assess what I want to say to my audience in my speech. Here, listen, think about what they want to hear or what they need to hear. To find the speech, you have to think. I realize now in reflection, you have to think deeper than the picture. You have to think greater than what an average person would think about any of these pictures. Think deeper, find a hidden message for the audience. And that way they will be captivated, more and more captivated by what you were saying than just an ordinary message as, oh, focus on the possible instead of the impossible. Find a deeper meaning. And I will continue to use that going forward for my speeches and how I deliver my messages. Thank you.